All right, so in an earlier video, I explained to you that the life of every program starts off being a source code or the test that represents the instructions that we want the computer to execute. And that means we need a tool that is going to help us to write that source code. And so in this course, we are going to use a tool called Visual Studio Code, which is a very simple test editor that comes freely from Microsoft that we will download and set up. And I want to mention to you that VS Code is not specifically for writing just Python code. It just gives you a plain text editor, and you can install different extensions to make it support a variant of programming languages out there. It just happens that in this course we are learning about Python, so we focus on how to use VS Code to write code for Python. Okay, and I am sure some of you might be aware of other alternatives that you can use, like Atom. You can use Sublime Text, you can use PyCharm. I mean, I have nothing against using any of these tools, except that I highly encourage you to also set up Visual Studio Code so that your experience is going to be consistent with what I teach in this course. I want to prevent the situation where you run into a problem that I didn't face, and you'll be struggling on your own. So as much as you can, I highly recommend that you install Visual Studio Code, and I believe you will love it by the end of this course. Okay, so once you go to code.visualstudio.com, the site is also smart to determine that I'm visiting it with a Windows computer. So all that I have to do is to click on this download for Windows, and it's going to download the installer for me. But because I have already done that, I am going to just open my downloads folder, and I have this VS Code user setup file here. I will double click on it, and like every other installation that happens on Windows, it is most likely going to give you a wizard, and for that wizard you click through next, and that should be it. So yes, this is it. You agree to the agreement, which we never read anyway. We go to next, and it is going to tell you the path where it's going to install the Microsoft Visual Studio Code test editor. And if you like, you can create a start menu folder. If you don't, then just don't check it. And ideally you also want to create a desktop icon so that the shortcut of this um, test editor will be on your desktop for easy accessibility. And you also want to check add to path so that you can start the test editor from your command prompt. You can read about the other actions and decide whether you like it or not. So I'm going to click on next, and then finally I click on install. And so this is also going to take a while, and I don't want to bore you watching this setup complete. So I'm going to end this video here, and in the next I'll show you how to set up the needed extension to be able to use VS Code to write Python code.